Hi guys, welcome to this week's podcast, and I am delighted to say I am joined by Michael Flynn, otherwise known as Matress Mick. Now in the podcast, Matress Mick is obviously going to talk about how he became Matress Mick, his childhood, his failures and success, and also his plans for the future. So have a listen and I hope you enjoy it.
This is the Ger Conroy Fitness Podcast. For more, see gerconroy.ie.
Michael Flynn, otherwise known as Matress Mick. Welcome to the Ger Conroy Fitness Podcast.
Thank you, Ger. Thank you very much for having me here today.
Thank you for coming. I really do appreciate it. I'm delighted to be able to bring you inside the gym now as well. Obviously, we've been trying to do this for a while, but Zoom isn't as good as in person.
No, I don't like the Zoom concept whatsoever. I would much prefer to be face-to-face with somebody I'm speaking to.
You can't beat it.
And anyway, I always want to see what the inside of a gym is like.
Well, now you have it.
I could certainly do with becoming a member. But
well, look, I'm not letting you out here today until we do a workout. Lock the doors.
That won't happen.
Look, obviously I said otherwise known as Matress Mick.
Yes.
But before we get to Matress Mick, I'm really excited to hear your whole story. So can we just kind of talk about your beginning of all of this and how we led to Matress Mick?
Sure. I'm going to go back as far as my school days. Very quickly. I went to Sing Street School. I did my leaving cert and I got very, very poor marks in my leaving cert. So when I left school, I tried to get a job. And I had great difficulty getting a job because my family lived in Pearse Street. Now, Pearse Street wasn't a great area to be living in. And particularly if you were trying to get a job in a financial institution or in a business.
Okay.
It just wasn't accepted. But I was very, very lucky. I came across an ad in a paper, in one of the papers, it was from a bank looking for a guy to work in the, we say, post room. So anyway, I applied for it. And it was a company called the Royal Trust Company, and they were based in Dawson Street. So I went for the interview, and I spoke to the managing director there, a guy called Brian Doyle, who, by the way, just passed away recently, but up to the time he passed, we were very, very good friends. We kept up our relationship.
Yeah.
But he took a view on me and gave me a job. He actually, I think, liked me, or else felt sorry for me. I'm not too sure. But he gave me a job in the Royal Trust, and I eventually ended up being a money dealer. That's buying and selling other people's money for the bank. Now, the main purpose of the bank was to look after pension funds and to look after people who had plenty of money, who had money in trusts and stuff, hence the name Royal Trust. They were a Canadian bank. Anyway, I got the job and I liked it and they liked me. But my father and mother had a business in Pearse Street. This is why we were living in Pearse Street, and there was a house behind the shop. Now, my father passed away when I was 18, 19. So my mother continued to run the business. Now, I was working in the bank. I continued to work in the bank for quite a while.
Yeah.
But my whole family were always self-employed, and I had this draw to be self-employed.
Yeah.
So I started taking an interest in the shop, and I was still in the bank, mind you, I got a stall, first of all, in the Dandelion Market. I don't know if anybody remembers the Dandelion Market up in St. Stephen's Green.
Very good.
And I would do that at the weekends. And I made quite a lot of money out of it. And in fact, I made enough money to buy my first car.
Brilliant.
Which was a Mini 850. The registration, CZU221. I'll never forget it.
Never forget your first.
Never forget it. So I managed to buy the car, pay for it, brand new, from the proceeds of the Dandelion Market. I still had the job in the bank. Then I was getting a bit restless, more restless. So one day I was in the shop, or standing at the shop, and it was a drapery store. And the drapery business was dying because of the advent of pennies, done stores.
Yeah.
The local drapery store was dying. And I could see this happening. We were haberdashery, wool, basically knickers and nylons, anything you wanted.
Of course.
For the person. So I was one day standing at the store and I saw somebody getting off the bus with a bedside locker. I said to myself, why did I have to go into town to buy a bedside locker?
Yeah.
And our store was quite big. So I started thinking about furniture. So I eventually developed, my mother and myself, because my father had passed, went I spoke to her and we agreed we'd try and develop a little furniture business. So we found some suppliers and we put the furniture into the store, and it worked.
Brilliant.
It really worked. It was just by accident, really, that it happened.
Yeah.
And we were trading there for quite a while as a furniture store, and then I noticed a new bottled gas company came on board called Airgas. Now, there was already Cozen Gas there, and Airgas was a competitor to Cozen Gas. So I applied for a dealership, which I got.
Excellent.
Yeah, I was great. And what I did was I did a little bit different. I offered a delivery service around Dublin. And even more different than that, I had a two-way radio system installed. I remember buying it from a company called Pi Telecommunications. They were out in Booterstown or somewhere like that. So we had a walkie-talkie situation between the shop and the vans.
Brilliant.
And the business just boomed. We were selling super Sares to beat the band. We were selling cookers and delivering up to 30,000 gas cylinders a year. Because at that time, everybody had a super Sare. Everybody used bottled gas to cook and to heat. Well, not everybody, but
So
a lot
it was
of
in
people.
demand.
It was very much in demand. And it was great. It turned out to be a fantastic business for me. So, being what I was, always ambitious, I opened another furniture shop. It was going well, the gas was going well, and I opened a furniture store in the old Dockrell's building in Georgia Street. Pat Quinn, the famous Pat Quinn, took it over, and he put it into little separate units. It was the kind of the first kind of shopping centre, I think, that I'd come across.
Yeah.
So I took a unit off him, and it went exceptionally well. It was only a short term, like a pop-up thing, but it worked. So it gave me more money to spend.
Keep going, yeah.
But I also then went to another location in Prussia Street. There's a shopping centre in Prussia Street. And in fact, I opened a very lovely shop there. It was an upstairs building, unit in the shopping centre. Again, I just took a short lease on it. It worked, but I was in and out.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't long term. Now, at that time, I noticed in Ringsend there was no grocery store. Because Pearse Street and Ringsend are quite side by side.
Yeah.
So an opportunity was put my way to open a Mace branded shop
Brilliant.
in Ringsend. So I negotiated a lease at number 18 Bridge Street in Ringsend, directly opposite the church in Ringsend, and I went in there and opened a Mace branded store. Now, it was great. It took off like a rocket because it was the first store of its type in Ringsend where it had open shelving. People could pick off the shelves.
Yes.
It wasn't over-the-counter service.
Of course, yeah.
And it was new at the time in that area. And it went very, very well. Now, I was making a lot of money. I was doing great. But I was also spending a lot of money. Like, I went out. I was enjoying myself. I went to Leeson Street was happening. Nightclubs were happening and everything else. But I was still in control.
Yeah.
But I got a bit greedy. I opened another Mace store in Pearse Street. So I had two of them. I had my furniture business, and I had, well, the dandelion market I'd stopped doing.
Okay.
But things were going great, going out, enjoying myself, living the life. But I took my eye off the ball. I really did, and I will admit it.
In what way?
Well, particularly on the Mace stores, like, it was very easy to get pilfered. It was very easy to get robbed because, people would come in. There was no barcoding. There was no...
Yeah.
It was just straight over the counter into the till. And I took my eye off the ball. And things went wrong. I ended up in a bit of financial difficulty. And in my heyday, or say that heyday, I'd bought a house in Sandymount as well for my mother, myself, and my sister Mary.
Yeah.
And so we had the shop in Pearse Street, the furniture store in Pearse Street. We had the Mace shops, but the Mace shops really, really collapsed on me. And I ended up owing quite a lot of money. There's a lot more to it, but I just don't have the time to go into it all. I had the house in Sandymount with a mortgage. I had the problems with the Mace store. So I eventually closed the Mace stores. But before I closed the Mace stores, and I owed quite a lot of money, and I was in a bit of trouble with the bank as regards the mortgage as well. So I did a deal with all the people I owed money to, and I said I'd sell my house in Sandymount and clear you off. But whatever I get, whatever you get, I don't want any follow on.
Of course.
Like if I owed you 10 grand, you get 10 grand. Or if I only had 8 out of the pot, you take the 8 and I walk away.
Yeah.
I'm selling my family home, which is a big thing to do.
That must have been tough.
It was hard, yeah. But just to go back a stage, before all this happened, my mother also passed away. And she had been living in the house in Sandymount, so it wasn't as if I was evicting her.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I got myself into trouble. I said what I do, and I did it. So my sister and myself, we sold the house, cleared up all the liabilities from the grocery trade, but we still had the furniture shop in Pier Street.
Yeah.
Again, a lucky break. I got word that there was a unit available in the Northside Shopping Centre. Like, I'm a fighter. I might fail, but I'm not a failure.
Yeah, I know this from knowing you the past number of years now. I can see that.
Yeah, and I never give up. Like, I keep fighting my corner. So I got a lease in the Northside Shopping Centre. I got it to the back door. I used somebody else to get the lease. Anyway, that's a long time ago. So that worked very, very well for me, the Northside. And I was up there for 26 years.
Brilliant.
And during that time, I also opened a store in the Dunamede Shopping Centre, selling furniture, beds, everything. So basically, that's a quick summary of my history up to the Northside Shopping Centre.
Yeah.
So in 2008, 09, things got a bit rough up in the shopping centre. The recession had hit.
Yeah.
I got myself again. The rents were very high. The service charges were very high. And I just couldn't keep going. Now, I still had Pier Street, mind you.
Yeah.
So I decided and I would liquidate my company, Northside Furniture Limited, because it was just very difficult. And it was a very difficult decision to make, to liquidate.
Of course.
I'm a proud kind of guy, and you hate letting your suppliers down. Your suppliers were not only your suppliers, but they were your friends. And at that time, you got credit. Like, you'd have 30 days to 60 days credit. So anyway, I called a creditors meeting, and a proper creditors meeting. I just didn't close the door. And I sat there, and it was very, very hard. We had the meeting in the hotel there in North Strand. It's called the Address now, I think it's called. It was the North Star Hotel.
Okay.
That's where we had the creditors meeting. And it was dreadful sitting there with all your people you owed a few quid to, having to answer questions. But anyway, we got through it.
But at least you did that.
I did
There's
it.
different ways of doing it, and not a lot of people probably would have done that. There's two ways of doing it. Like, you wanted to kind of sit there and talk to them and explain things and put a plan in place.
I did, yeah. I just didn't want to. I was very embarrassed about the thing.
Yeah.
I didn't plan it because I was in business all my life. It wasn't a situation where you set up a business to get people's money and then walk away. Yeah. I was quite passionate about it. But anyhow, I had Pier Street still. That was outside the liquidation. And I had another unit, a warehouse facility in the Coolock Industrial Estate, which wasn't part of my company. I had the lease in my own name. So I had the two assets were the warehouse in Coolock and Pier Street. So one of my staff took over the shop in the Northside Shopping Centre, which I was a bit sad about, he worked with me and then he went in and he saw the opportunity and he took it. Well, and he's doing very well. I get on very well with his name is Jerry. I get on very well with him now, but at the time it was a bit difficult.
Yeah.
And you walk in there and a few years later, that's the carpet I paid for and that's the shelving I put up.
Yeah,
it's not nice.
Of course.
But anyway, at the time I could not see any light. But again, the spark came. What do I do now, Matress Mick or Michael Flynn?
Yeah.
This is where the Matress Mick now happens.
Okay.
I looked at my business and I saw that most of the products we were selling were beds and bedroom furniture. We also at that time in the Northside furniture business did suites of furniture, coffee tables, kitchen stuff, but the main seller was beds. And I looked around and there was no dedicated bed shop in Dublin.
Yeah.
No shop specialising in beds. Now, I had no money. I was rock bottom at this stage, except I had the Pier Street and I had the Coolock warehouse. So what I did was I converted the Coolock warehouse into a semi-showroom. I had some stock and I spoke to some of my suppliers, the friendly ones, I dealt with. And I got support from some of them. And to this day, like the guys who worked with me are really benefiting from the success of Matress Mick. The guys who didn't are the losers.
Yeah.
And I think people, and I learned it way back, when you're down, it's hard to get up. People don't want you to get up. They want you to see you tumble, stay humble, whatever.
They say that people like to see you do well, but they enjoy it more to see you falling.
Some people. Yeah. Anyhow, one night I was having a pint in the Yacht pub in Clontarf, and this fella comes up to me and says, "Hello, are you Mick Flynn?" And I said, "I am." And he said, "Well, my name is Paul Kelly." I said, "Okay, Paul, how are you?" He said, "I know you from a long way back. I used to pass the shop in Pier Street all the time, and I see you standing there, and I see the activity." And I said, well, I told him briefly my story, and he turned out to be a guy who had his own little business called Shoot Audition. And what he would do is, if you were an aspiring actor or actress, he would do a video of you, and you could then take that away and send it into the film companies or into any of these agencies. So he was down on his luck as well. He was having difficulty in his business because we were, like, the whole country was nearly suffering at that time.
Yeah, it was a bad time for the country.
So we kind of hit it off very well, and I told him what I was planning. So we came up with the idea between us of the bedding business. I explained what I wanted to do. I was looking for a name, and I said, right, I can call myself Mick's Mattresses, Matress Mick, Mickey's Mattresses, all different things, but Matress Mick was the one that stuck out. So we decided on Matress Mick. Now, I had to get it out there, and I had no money to get it out there. So
this was like almost a rebranding of Michael Flynn.
That's correct, yeah. And what happened was, I got I had an idea. I went online, and not that I was very good online, and that's 12 years ago, there wasn't much there. I just got one idea of what I called guerrilla marketing.
Yeah.
I got these corryboard posters. I got 8x4 sheets, and I cut them into 8. Well, the printer did for me. So we got 8 2x2 signs from an 8x4 sheet. We put them all over Dublin. Myself and Paul Kelly and one other lad. And we just stuck them anywhere. We didn't care where they went. They were
Did you get
yellow
into trouble
and
for
red.
that?
What?
Did you get into trouble for
I'll
that?
come to that in a minute. I'll come to that in a minute. We put them literally everywhere, on shops that were derelict, on traffic light poles, on the islands in the middle of the road. I just did not care. Didn't care. And a friend of mine had taken this picture of me, and I still use it, me standing up with my hand out. It's the picture that we use in all of my advertising. It's on my vans. It's everywhere. And I had a green shirt, a blazer, and a pair of beige trousers. And I use that picture to this day. And that was taken purely by accident. Yeah. So we put that picture on the posters. But before we made up our mind to do that, we thought, should I use an actor for Matress Mick? Or should I use a cartoon for Matress Mick? Or could I use myself? Now, I was the cheapest. And I do look a bit funny. Like, I have long hair. I wear high-heel shoes. I'm still in the 60s mode, if you know what I mean. And I look a bit different. So we decided we'd use me as the front for Matress Mick. But it was a decision we thought about, whether it would be an actor or a cartoon. Anyway, it was better to use me. Now,
and was that solely for financial reasons, or?
Well, no, we just thought it would be the best option.
Would it be more personalised as well?
Yes, and I could interact with people, and I'm good at interacting with people. Yeah. So we put the posters out all over the place, and it began to work. Sales began to come in to the shop. People were noticing the signs. And in 07, I started a small little taxi business. Now, the reason I have to go back to this is to explain another thing to you. I needed to buy a new car, and I found it very hard to justify buying a car to drive from Clontarf to Coolock. So what I did was I applied for my own taxi license, my PSV license. I said, what I'll do is I'll buy the new car, I'll put a taxi plate on it, and I can always make a few quid
Brilliant.
that way. So I managed to buy a Skoda Octavia, brand new, 07D 31499 is the regiment. I still have it. And I got a taxi plate, put it on it, and I started doing a little bit of taxiing as well. This is between 07 and 09.
Yeah.
Now, what happened then was, one day I was in the store in Coolock at the warehouse, and a fella came to me and he said, would you know anybody who'd rent a taxi to me? You know, I started to think, why do I not rent the one I have to this fellow? And the rate at that time was around €250 a week.
Yeah.
So he took it. And out of that 250 a week, I bought another one. Right?
Yeah,
So I had the little taxi business growing in the background all the time.
Excellent.
And it kept me going. I ended up with 28 taxis at
Jesus.
one stage. Now, the reason why I didn't mention that before now is because it falls into place later down the road.
Yeah.
Okay? What I did with it. So anyway, we got the Matress Mick thing going. People started buying mattresses. And we were very fortunate. We put a big sign up at the 5 Lamps in the North Strand. We put a big 16 by 16 poster. There was 3 black poles there, and they were used to advertise a proposed apartment building that was being built down in Sheriff Street or somewhere.
Yeah.
And they were never used. So I couldn't find the owner of this site. I couldn't find who it was to ask his permission to put the signs. So one night we went down and we put them up. We just say it was a Tuesday night.
That's one way of finding out who
On
owns
Wednesday
it.
morning, he was sent to me. But it was a fantastic site, really fantastic. At the 5 Lamps, directly opposite the 5 Lamps. There's a big apartment block there now at the moment that has been built.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was very fortunate. 2 things happened. Stephen Fry, the famous English personality, was in Dublin and saw my posters, and he tweeted about us.
Very good.
And that went viral. That went actually all over the place. Stephen Fry saw Matress Mick and whatever. Who is Matress Mick? What is Matress Mick?
Lovely.
So we responded by offering him a free mattress. But he never took it up. But he was in Ireland doing some kind of film. But also a personality, a researcher from RTE saw the sign, and they needed a prop for a show called The Wagon's Den. And they asked me to come along to carry a mattress in. So I got a great bit of publicity out of that.
Very good.
So things began to happen.
Yeah.
You know, things began to move in the right direction. The brand was getting stronger, and it was fantastic. People were coming up to me saying, "Are you Matress Mick? Are you Matress Mick?" And
Lovely.
It was great. And when they come into the shop, I also got these cardboard cutouts of myself. I got 20 of them printed, and they were 50 quid each. So I have them all around the shop. So people would come into the shop, and they wouldn't know whether I was real me or whether... Anyway, it worked. And they come up and they'd want to meet me and they'd talk to me. So things grew and developed. I got more interest then from RTE. Joe Duffy had me on a show for a topical to do with mattresses. I was just getting out there. Then there was a video done about us called Back with a Bang. It was a video that we produced ourselves. It was super success on YouTube. It's had over, I think, 250,000 views. And the song, and I can't sing, but I did the song, I'm back with a bang. I'm back with a bang. The undisputed king of mattress land, where mattressy people drive mattressy cars. I'll fly my mattress rocket to the mattressy stars. You know,
I remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And we recorded that out here in Finglas, or in the Finglas area, and it was just blown away. And that was a small budget movie. We had a DeLorean car, we had dancers, we had me singing, and we were out in the Rights venue. We got great feedback from it. Yeah. And I even get kids coming up to me on the street now. He's back. There he is. He's back with a bang. Yeah. And it's fantastic.
That's fantastic, yeah.
So the next thing that happened was a film company asked us to do a documentary, a 10-minute documentary about us. Yeah. And a guy called Colin Quinn. And I said, okay, no worries. 10 minutes filming is not going to be hard work. But it took, as the thing grew, they kept filming. So they were filming for nearly a year and a half.
Jesus.
Because I was getting more publicity. I was attending christenings. I was actually at a wedding. You know, the
As a
bride
guest
loved me. So
appearance, like?
so the bride loved me. So the groom asked me, would I come to the wedding? That
Very
kind of
good.
thing.
So there's just so much content.
Yeah.
So that's why they kept rolling with it.
That's why they kept rolling, because it was growing and
love
growing and growing all the time. And the documentary was done, and it was an hour and a quarter documentary about me, about Paul Kelly, about how we created the Matress Mick, the problems and the conflicts, because everything didn't go always very smoothly with Paul. We'd have our own differences. And Paul, I don't know if you've seen the film or not, but there's a few very difficult pieces in it where Paul went a bit funny. I had to make certain decisions whether to keep him or let him go. It was difficult, but it was all recorded.
It was good that it was recorded as well, though, and it shows that life isn't always roses. Like.
It's not, and I thought Paul was very brave in allowing, first of all, the cameras into his home, which he did do. I didn't let it into my home, but he did, and he was very open and honest. And I think that this is what made the documentary such a success.
Of course, because it was more personal.
Yeah. So it actually was nominated for a NIFTA award, and it actually won it for the best documentary of 2017.
Fantastic.
I think it was 17. Excuse me if I'm wrong. Anyway, it was a fantastic evening in the Mansion House. We were called up, Miriam O'Callaghan was doing the show, and Matress Men is the winner. We were blown away.
Fantastic.
Absolutely blown away. So it was premiered then over in Toronto at a film festival called the Hot Docs Festival, and we all went over, courtesy of the film company, and we had a fantastic week in Toronto. Yeah. This film was shown at the various theatres. We were on the streets of Toronto, going around dressed as a mattress, doing everything. I was just blown. But the publicity,
I've seen the images, they're brilliant.
The publicity that created got the brand more recognised,
of course,
more identifiable. And the more you're on the radio, people listening to you on the radio, the more people have a trust in you. They don't mind buying from you because they feel they know you. And this is how I think, by talking to like Joe Duffy and these other people on the radio, and it helps to build consumer confidence in me and in what I do. And I think this helped strengthen the brand. Like, our competitors would be much bigger organisations than I would be, and I'm not going to mention them because I don't want to advertise them.
But you come across, obviously, you're letting people see who you are, your personality. You're a nice person, you're a grafter, and you're just trying to do it to support your family, like, and just to kind of make a living out of it. And
that's all I want to do.
You're just one of us, like, you know.
Yeah, I'm not interested in having flashy cars or anything. I drive a Skoda, an 09 Skoda. I don't care. I don't need a 211 BMW. I'd rather buy a new van than buy a new car.
Of course, yeah.
Now, our website then was also getting stronger, so we were getting more business from outside the Dublin area. So things really fell into place very, very nicely. Then what happened, Apollo House came along, and I got very active in Apollo House. That was the homeless situation in 2015, 2016. And we put in some mattresses into that, just put them in. Because I had a great year, I could afford to do it, things were going right, and I loved doing it. I loved the whole journey of Apollo House, meeting up with first of all, the homeless people, then the other people who were involved in it. There was Dean Scurry, Glenn Hansard, Codeline, all those bands and people and personalities were all there. They're just normal guys like you and me.
Yeah.
They're no different when you get to know them.
Yeah, of course.
And it was great, and we're still all friends. We still have this WhatsApp group, and we still talk on it. And it was a great journey. And it was great to give something back from after coming back from with nothing to achieving something and then be able to give it back. And I still do quite a lot with the homeless. It's one of my pet projects, is the homeless. And I love helping people. I really enjoy it. And I don't do it for recognition. I just do it for my own satisfaction.
Of course, yeah.
And that's really, really nice. So the brand was getting stronger and stronger, and what I did was then I registered Matress Mick as a trademark. I registered it as a trademark in Ireland and in the UK and part of Europe. And I got to the stage in my life now where I didn't want any more shops myself. I didn't want any more leases, or I didn't want any more commitments. So I decided, and I gave this a lot of thought, to give other retailers a license to trade as Matress Mick.
Yeah.
Because I felt confident that the brand was recognised. The turnover in our stores was going up and up. And people had approached me quietly when I considered that. And I thought about it and I said, why not?
Yeah.
So we opened our first licensed store in the Nace Road. It's beside Woody's there in the Nace Road.
Yeah, I know it.
We also had one in Tyrrellstown, which is not too far from here. That didn't work. It was too small a store, and Tyrrellstown's kind of like it's a destination.
Yeah.
And then where Drogheda or the Nace Road, people are travelling all the time.
Of course, yeah.
So we opened then in Drogheda, and at the moment now we've Waterford, Carlow, Rossgrey, and 3 more in the pipeline.
Brilliant.
And that is the way I want to extend the brand.
Yeah.
I visit the stores frequently, and I love going down there. The people come to see me. Again, a lot of them don't even believe I exist.
Yeah,
this day.
you always see it. Look on your social media.
Yeah.
You're always in all the different stores.
Yeah.
So you're not just giving them the license, you're supporting them as well.
Well, that's part of the deal.
Of course, yeah. That's important that you're always there as well,
Yeah.
and because you care. And you're giving other people a chance as well to be successful.
And you're very honoured that I'm here today.
Yeah.
Because I should be in Rossgrey.
There you go. There you go. You'd rather be here though.
Absolutely, yeah.
I know, but look, that's it. Like you're everywhere, Mick. You know, you're absolutely everywhere.
Well, this is the plan, and it's growing at its own pace. You know, I can still push it, but it moves itself.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting in. I've got getting back to the taxis. I didn't when I decided the cars got a bit older. Rather than sell the cars, I branded them all yellow and red.
Yeah. And
what I do is I just park them around Dublin.
Yeah.
Different places. I have a guy who does it, what we call, he shunts it from A to B. And he gets a few bob from me for doing that. And we just put them everywhere. Now, it's particularly good at the weekends where you can use the loading bays.
Yeah.
Like you can go into a loading bay at 6 o'clock on a Saturday and you can be there till Sunday evening. You don't have to pay any charges. Now, we've been clamped a couple of times, and what I do is I leave the cars clamped until the last minute, because that even gets more attention.
Yeah.
Now, there's a Matress Mick car clamped.
Clever, yeah.
You put it up on social media. You have 23 hours to pay the fine, and they throw it away. But you learn all these things, and this is where my guerrilla marketing.
Yeah.
And that's what I call it, guerrilla marketing.
Yeah.
Anything for a bit of publicity, no matter what it is, I will do.
Yeah.
And it's paid off. It really has.
Of course.
Then, the whole purpose of Matress Mick is to sell mattresses.
Yeah.
And people are becoming more aware nowadays of how important a good night's sleep is.
Yeah, I'm always talking about it, Mick.
Are you? Yeah.
Always. I said that to you before. I know we did a bit of work together on the Dragon's Den with the schools.
The college school, yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic. But I remember saying it to you as well. I'm always talking over the years with my clients, just members of the gym, people in general, when they're stopping, you're talking to them and they're wondering why they're not able to lose sleep. Like obviously hormones, everything comes into it as well. But when you get talking to people, Mick, and I think I was touching on this with you before, people are telling me, I just can't, I keep waking up in the middle of the night. And the last thing they kind of question is the mattress they're sleeping on. And I've said this to you before, and I told you, I'm not just saying it because it's you, Mick, the amount of people that say, they're blaming her on, oh, maybe I'm going to bed too early, maybe I'm going to bed too late, oh, well, maybe it's every other excuse, but they don't actually look at what they're sleeping on. Yeah. They're thinking of everything else.
Yeah.
And then when you say to them, what's your mattress like? How long have you got your mattress? Because this is a big one. Not many people know how long you should have a mattress for.
Right.
And how often you should change it.
Right.
But when you find the right mattress and you do get the right amount of sleep, well, when you find the right mattress, you do actually then get the right amount of sleep. And it's not just, I'm actually asleep for X amount of hours. It's a nice, comfortable sleep. You're not being woken up because you can do all these studies as well. Look, we have fantastic watches. All the technology shows you how often you actually wake up in the middle of the night without realising you're waking up. But how important is a good mattress? Because I'm always talking about it, but I'd love to hear from yourself.
Well, I'll put it this way. I think your mattress should be treated as your best friend.
Yeah.
Right? Now, years ago, the technology in mattresses was quite basic. You had your springs and you had a bit of foam and fabric. Now the whole thing is becoming like a fashion business.
Yeah.
The trends change. Now, people are also becoming very conscious of how important a good mattress is.
Yeah.
And we get couples who come into the store and they've done their research online as to what is available, first of all, and as to what might suit them. Now, it's very hard if somebody asks you, what is a good mattress for me, or I have a bad back or whatever. I can't tell you what is a good mattress for you, but I can show you 5 or 6 different mattresses in my store, or even more. After you've explained to me what your symptoms are, I would point you into 4 or 5 different mattresses.
Of course, because everybody is different.
I would insist that you lie on the mattress, which you can do in our stores. And before this pandemic and all these other crises, I would also say, particularly if it was a lady here, I get on the bed with you.
Yeah.
Even the man, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's important that you lie on a mattress and that you use a pillow. Because some people just get on a mattress, lie on it, and we all sleep on a pillow. At least most people sleep on a pillow. So we'll give them a pillow to use. And I suggest, again, if people sleep on their side, where 95% of people sleep on their side, the rest are you sleep on your back or your stomach. Now, I can't. I sleep on my side. I couldn't sleep on my stomach. And very few people do. But it's important when you're looking at a mattress that you try it in the position that you normally sleep.
Yeah.
So I will show a customer 4 or 5 mattresses. I'll go away, leave them, because people are a little bit shy about getting on a mattress. Well. And particularly ladies, they just are a little bit conservative about it. So just leave them alone. If they want advice, or if they narrow it down to 1 or 2 mattresses, we go and we talk to them and say, right, this is pocket sprung, it's memory foam, there's reflex foam in it, there's heavy duty fabric. We'd explain exactly the components. Yeah. And we also have what they call it's like a sample mattress. It's just a square. So we can show them how the mattress is actually
they can
made.
see the insides of it.
Yeah. And the trend nowadays is that you buy a mattress that you don't have to turn.
Yeah.
So the springs are at the base of the mattress, and the support and the springs are up to the top of the mattress. So all you do is rotate it.
Yeah.
And I recommend, and the manufacturers recommend, that you should rotate your mattress every season, 4 times a year.
Very good.
Minimum. A mattress should last anywhere between 8 and 10 years at its prime. Now, it depends if you rotate it and turn it, or whatever you have to do with it, it'll last a little bit longer. But a lot of people don't bother.
Yeah.
And if a mattress, the reason why you would rotate it is you might be 10 stone and your partner might be 20 stone. So the 20 stone side is going to drop down. So by rotating it, the springs are getting even wear.
Yeah.
And it does prolong the life of the mattress. Yeah. But 8 to 10 years would be my guideline to a family or a person.
Yeah. No, but I like that as well, the way you say, like, you can't tell somebody, because we do get that, what's the best nutrition plan for me to be on? I can give somebody a nutrition plan that works for them. It doesn't mean it's going to work for their partner or their brother or their sister or whatever, because everybody is different. And when you say that, okay, well, I have this back injury, I sleep this way, yeah, well, here's 5 options for you. Now you go and lie on them and tell me which one feels more comfortable, because just because it feels comfortable to me doesn't mean it's going to feel comfortable to you.
That's right, yeah.
That's the way it works.
It's very hard, but it's okay if you're selling a mattress on the phone or online for a spare room or for a child. You can really tell what mattress to give a child.
Yeah.
But when you're an adult, you really have to try it yourself.
Yeah.
You really do. Because it's so important to your wellness, as in your industry, your business, all the different things that you tell people. It all comes back to wellness and health and diet and a good mattress.
And that's why I wanted you to come in today. That was for one of the reasons. Like, one, because we'll get back to your story in a minute. You were given a chance from somebody, and then you're just a grafter. You never stop. The guerrilla marketing you're talking about as well. But the sleep is just so important to all of my members.
Yeah.
And they just don't seem to realise it, and I am always talking to them. But it's great to have you here to be able to explain a little bit more in detail, and the whole procedure when they come in, what actually happens. Like you're saying about people going in and you're telling them to lie down in the bed, get a pillow, because you do often see, and you'll know this obviously more than me, people go in, they just sit on the bed gently and get off and go to the next bed, sit on it gently. How are you going to know until you actually lie down on it and lie the way you actually sleep yourself?
That's right, yeah.
Because no point in just getting down and lying on your back if you actually sleep on your stomach or on your sides or whatever. And then they have the support and the customer service from you guys to be saying, okay, now I'm going to leave you for a few minutes and let you go and kind of talk as well. And obviously the pricing will come into it or whatever, but when they have it down to 1 or 2, then you come in and show them the inside of the mattress. Yeah. It's great customer service as well. I think that's very important, the way you do that, Mick.
Well, thank you. It's also too, like when people sit on a mattress, all your weight is in your bottom, you know, your head to your bottom. Mm-hmm. So a mattress is designed to take your weight evenly. Mm-hmm. It's not designed to take it in one spot.
Of course.
So when I sit on a mattress, it's going to drop down. It's going to crease at the sides. But when I lie on it, it won't. And you've got to show that to people. And it's very important. I can show them very well because I could do it, losing a bit of weight, but it goes right down when I sit on it. When you lie on it, it's fine. Yeah. And also, it's very, very important. A lot of the mattresses now have antibacterial components in it. They're all anti-allergy. A lot of them are the better ones. Yeah. And there's one company that do, we say, mattresses with bamboo or with horsehair. All these, and these are Irish. And it's great. The whole industry is evolving into a science. Yeah. And I think it's great, but we've got to keep on top of it. See, it's like in most businesses, things are changing. It's important that I myself keep on top and that I educate my salesmen to keep on top as well. Yeah, very good. And look, that's again, you can talk about your marketing all day, but it's when you're doing your research on your industry, that's what's going to keep you top of your industry, like. Yeah, and one thing I try to promote all the time is I try to sell as many Irish-made mattresses, of course, as possible. I always see that in your social media as well, always Irish-made. Irish-made mattresses, because I'm trying to support industry, or the industry in my country, rather than from China or whatever. Although the components and stuff may come from abroad, there's manufacturing plants in Ireland, and there's people depending on me as a retailer and my competitors as a retailer to keep going. Brilliant. And the more Irish products we sell, the better it is for the economy. 100%. Absolutely. I love that. And if we get the service, you have a backup if something goes wrong. Like, here's an example. If two things. If somebody's in my store and they are undecided about a mattress, like they're genuinely undecided whether they will go for mattress A or mattress B, we will say to them, we can't do it now because of what's going on with COVID. Yeah. But before COVID, we would say, right, pick the one, give it your best shot, right? And pick the one you think you like. And if you don't like it after 3 to 5 nights, I'll change it for you. Very good. Because it's a totally different feeling when you're under the blankets than when you're sleeping or lying on a mattress in a store. In the middle of a store, yeah. We would find, we give that option, so it gives people, if you're spending 600 or 700 or 800 euro on a mattress, you want to make sure you get the right one. So it gives people the comfort of knowing that they can exchange it. And that says a lot about your business as well. But it doesn't happen very often, though. Well, there you go. Yeah. There you go. But that's what I mean. It says a lot about how friendly you guys are and also how much you believe in your product. Yes. Because it's like money back guarantee, all these type of stuff. People really believe in their product. And like you just said there, it doesn't really come back very often. They generally don't. No. Yeah. Okay, you get the odd one. But you'll know it's genuine. Yeah, of course. You don't offer to every customer. You can see a couple who have difficulty in deciding. Because you can read your customer. To show you care about the customers as well. Yeah, well, you do. It really does. You do. When the customers pay the bills. Yeah, that's the main thing. You know, and the customers give you the advertising, word of mouth advertising. Of course. Which is essential. Then there's another issue too with taking back old mattresses. Like a lot of people would have a mattress in their house. So they say, can you take them back? So we can do that for people. It's a recycling. Yeah. So we obviously have to charge them for that. I don't build that type of extra into my price.
Yeah, of course.
And because not everybody has a mattress to be taken back. And generally people don't mind paying it. You get some people who do, I take it back, but we if there's an argument or whatever, we will do it. But generally people don't mind paying. It's only 25, 30 euro.
Yeah. Oh, well,
but
it's good.
They're picked up then and they are recycled. They're not just dumped in a field or in a dump.
Of course.
Where they could take up to 100 years to disintegrate.
Yeah.
So there's a company called Eco Mattress Recycling, and they take them away, and they have a team there that they'll take the mattresses apart.
Very good. And tell me, going forward now, what's plans for Matress Mick?
Well, what I would eventually like to do is, obviously, I want to retire someday.
Okay.
But in the meantime,
in the not so
I'm
distant
hoping to
future?
What?
Not so distant future?
Well, I'm looking at another 3 years perhaps.
Okay.
I'd like to pack it in. But in the meantime, but I don't want to retire. I'd like to be part of it.
Yeah.
Like if, for example, Ger Conroy decided to buy my business, I'd like to be part of the activity of the business,
course, yeah.
but not the nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
The marketing, because I just love the buzz of marketing. I just love it. So I'm hoping to increase my outlets, the way I explained earlier on in the interview, by offering license to people.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to have up to 20 by the end of 22.
Excellent.
And I've also got one very strong inquiry from the UK, where a guy in London has seen me on social media, and he's an Irish lad, but he reckons that it would bomb in London. There's so many Irish over there, and the name Matress Mick,
Yeah.
it's like Paddy.
It's a catchy one as well, though.
It's a catchy one. So that's the way I intend to go forward, and do more videos, keep pumping out the social media, talking to people like yourself, and also learning about my industry, or more about my industry all the time.
It's important to always keep kind of upskilling yourself within your own industry.
Yeah. But I don't want any more shops myself. I've done that.
Yeah, but you're also looking at the franchise end of it, like you're giving other people a chance as well.
We are, yeah.
Do well under your name, obviously. And I feel that's very important. You're talking about, like, you obviously support them and that's part of your deal, but you're even talking about when you retire, you don't want to be hands-on, but you still want to be there to support them. That's
I do,
very important.
and like if you bought Matress Mick off me, I'd like to help you develop it to the next stage.
Yeah, see, that shows you care as well.
I do, yeah. And like I've no family who are interested in. I have 2 daughters, but they're not interested in the business.
Business, yeah.
That's fine. So I do have to eventually, I think, consider selling it. So if anybody out there would like to buy me,
there you go.
give us
Get
a call.
in contact with Matress Mick.
Or ring Ger O'Connor, he's my agent.
There you go, yeah.
Ger Conroy, sorry.
And tell me, like, I just wanted to kind of, obviously we're at the listening to the whole story as well. It's fascinating. And what I really like, one of the first things you said, and I love hearing stuff like this, when you came out of school and you went into the bank.
Yes.
And you said, this guy, he must have just liked you. He gave you a chance.
Fine Doyle, yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's just, everybody needs that chance.
Yeah.
And we do see that now. Like, we have the Ger Conroy Fitness Academy. We qualify, or we have our students and we qualify them into personal trainers.
Yeah.
And we give them interviews here and we try and train them up to get a job in Ger Conroy Fitness or in any other gym.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of gym owners obviously as well, and I try to pass off our students and make sure they're successful in the industry as well, whether it's with us or with somebody else. But everybody needs that chance.
Yes.
And I was delighted to hear you say that.
Oh,
that you got
absolutely.
that chance. It's very important. And what happens? You're still you're friends with that guy for many, many years then.
Yeah, I was. He passed away last year, but
Yeah.
he was in his 90s. But we were always together, in touch,
Yeah.
talking. And one of the things I enjoy doing, and I've been asked quite a lot in the last few years, is to give talks in schools.
Yeah.
I give talks to both inter and leaving cert students about the marketing, about how I got my ideas,
Yeah.
and about believing in yourself. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's not a shameful thing. Pick yourself up if you do make a mistake. But I do try to instill in people to follow their dreams, to believe that they can achieve what they want to do. And if you don't the first time, try it again the second time.
Yeah.
Listen to my story or read my story, and it works.
Yeah.
where a lot of people don't have the confidence, or they don't have the, I don't know what the word is really.
People are afraid to fail, so they don't try in the first place.
Yeah, but as I said to you earlier, I failed, but I'm not a failure.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, circumstances.
It's very important to understand that.
Very, very important, Ger.
Because I remember when I started off in the fitness industry, I was always afraid to fail. Now, I tell people now, don't be afraid to fail, but when you are afraid to fail, like I found this just me personally, when I was starting off, I was so afraid to fail. Like, I barely slept. I was so focused on everything. I was always thinking, if I'm awake longer than the competitors, you know, I'll always have that edge. And I was because I was so afraid of failing. But you are always going to have moments that don't go right for you, or you'll have things that might fail. And it's important to not let it get you down too much, to understand that that's life and to learn from it. And if that a failure, you need to learn from it. And that will make you a better person. Yeah. And it will help you in the future as well. So I think it's important not to be afraid of failure, and if failure does come, to realise that it's okay, it's part of life, and it's what you do with that failure. Yeah. I think that's very important.
On that point there, like when I had to liquidate my Northside Furniture business, I could not understand it, but there was a reason. The reason was there was another plan for me to be Matress Mick. If I was still Northside Furniture, I'd be nobody. I wouldn't be sitting here with you. Yeah. I'd be just another retailer.
Of course.
But now I'm, with respect, I'm a little bit of a personality. Yeah. People know about me, and I enjoy that, and I enjoy sharing my experiences. Like
it's even meant to be, Mick.
Yeah, but it's hard at the time when things go wrong to see why things happen.
Yeah, I understand.
It's only afterwards you say, "Oh, that happened for this reason." Yeah. And I know that Matress Mick is giving jobs to people. I know people are learning it from me. I know they learn from this talk. Yeah. I mean, look at what you've got here, Ger. I mean, it's a fantastic gym.
Oh, thank you very much.
Really unbelievable. And I love the yellow and black. It's really super.
Yeah, no, thank you. My brother actually only messaged me recently asking me, where did the yellow and black come from?
Yeah, I was going to ask you the same question.
Asked me, he says, why yellow and black? And I messaged him back a few kind of jokes, but basically I just liked the combination of the two.
Super.
I thought it looked professional and stuff. But
it's soothing. Like when I walked in here now, I found this very soothing.
Thank you.
You know, I'm yellow and red, so I love yellow. I have McDonald's colours. Yeah. But this really struck me as being very relaxing. Yeah. When I walked in.
And that's the thing, like I wanted it to be like that. I wanted it obviously to look professional and to kind of be relaxing and welcoming. Because a lot of gyms, people have the impression that they're not welcoming, they're intimidating, and that's, you can even see the layout. We're obviously changing it for the reopening after obviously lockdown, but I want it to be so welcoming and people can just come in and enjoy it and not be intimidated. And that's obviously where we hire certain staff as well, to make sure they're the right type of people to fit the model as well.
I know, it's really blows me away now, I must say.
Thank you very much. But I do just want to touch on what you were saying as well about all of that, like the liquidation of your company, and that happened for a reason. Yeah. And straight away I thought back to a time where I wanted something just before we opened Ger Conroy Fitness, and it didn't happen, and like it was a business opportunity, it didn't happen, and I was heartbroken over it. And my wife said to me at the time, what's meant for you won't pass you by.
That's right.
And it's, at the time, I just didn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I was like, I just kind of ignored it, and later on we were talking and she said it again, what's meant for you won't pass you by. And I said, will you stop saying that? It just put me in bad form, to be honest with you, Mick. Yeah. And now I look back, and I've said it to her many times since, I said, you're very right there, you're dead right, because I'm happy with what we have now. And obviously we're still only, like, I'm in the industry 16 years, the gym is, Ger Conroy Fitness is only 6 years old, but we're only getting started as well, you know. But I always remember her saying that, and I just didn't want to hear it at the time. But she was very true. I was very right.
I believe there's a path for everybody, you know. Yeah. I really do. Sometimes you don't see it until you're actually on it. Yeah. But it's hard to see. You're talking about you're liquidating your company. No one's going to see it then, Mick. No. But you coming out and being so open about it and speaking about it, if that happens to somebody, hopefully it doesn't, and if it does happen to somebody in the future, they'll be able to remember you speaking and saying, well, he was rock bottom, and look what he went on to achieve. I did a talk one time in Wheatfield Prison, right? They invited me up to do a talk to 23 inmates, right? Now, in that room, there were two people who were there for murder and other crimes, and I didn't know who was who, right? So I spent an hour and a half talking to them about opportunities, about, again, believing in yourself and about whatever. That was 3 years ago. Since that, I've had 4 of those people contact me to thank me for the comments, the encouragement and the support that they got from that chat.
I love that.
I got so much pleasure out of that, you know, and so much satisfaction to think that 4 people have benefited, and one of them keeps in touch with me all the time.
Fantastic.
It's great. I never even asked the men what they were in for. Didn't bother me. It could have been one of the men for murder. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But they came, and that means an awful lot.
That's fantastic. I
Yeah.
love hearing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
So
as
that's
well,
what it's about. Sorry, Jerry. That's what it's about. Business, people. It's not all about money.
yeah.
Not,
It's about helping people. Like
Yeah.
only yesterday, I was on the phone to another gym owner. He rang me, asked me opinion on certain things, and I was delighted that he was asking me. You know.
Yeah.
But this is what we're there for. We're there to help each other.
yeah.
In industry, like whether you're in the same industry, whether you're not in the same industry, everybody should be just helping each other. You went into a prison, spoke to people,
Yeah.
and you're at the helping.
Yeah.
Probably more than the 4, but the 4 of them reached out to you.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I
You
only
know,
know
and
of
that's
the 4.
fantastic. And I wanted to say as well, I spoke about it's important and everybody needs that opportunity and everyone needs to be given a chance. But I also want to say on that, I don't want people to get this wrong and they just say, oh, well, I need a chance. I'm 18, I'm 20 now, I need a chance. Who's going to give me a chance? You have to be a grafter. You have to have that work ethic, and you did at the time, and maybe that came across in your interview that time. You can tell when someone is a grafter and someone has got that about them, that they just want to be successful and they want to help people. And I'm sure that came across in your interview. We do see that all the time with people, and that's when you have to give
Interview with
somebody a
the
chance.
bank man, is it? Or,
Sorry, when you were in the bank that time,
Yeah.
I'm sure it came across like that.
yeah. I hope so. They must have done something right for the man anyway.
Yeah,
you know,
like we had a
he took
guy in
view.
for an interview. We had a number of people in for an interview a couple of years ago, and one guy stood out at the time, and I knew by him. I knew this guy. He's the right person. He's very good person. He's going to care about the members. He obviously has the qualifications that's needed, and I knew by him he had the work ethic. But you obviously don't know until you get them in. And I explained to him how it works here and the opportunities that could be here, but you have to earn them as well. And it was 1 week. It's Kieran. He's a manager now with us. It was 1 week before he was officially with us a full year. I always remember this. And he was given the manager's role in a Ratot gym. And I had explained all this to him. I said, if you come in and are as good as you say you are, and you work as hard as you say, and you're going to care about the members, because to me that's very important. The staff have to really care about the members. It's not just come in, make a few quid and go home. Because the members, if without them, there wouldn't be any of this.
Yeah.
And great work ethic, really good lad, and he helped, and he is still to this day helping Ratot to be the success that it is. Right. But I use him as examples now sometimes to the academy students. He came in and he got that for himself. I had no option but to give him that opportunity because he earned it. Yeah. You know?
Well, the two things there, you've recognised his talents and his dedication, and you know, you took a view, and you were right. He also gave you a very strong impression of himself.
Yeah.
So it's a two-way thing.
Yeah.
But I think when you're in business, you're a little bit, you have an eye for things, you know, you have a second sense. Somebody is going to, or something is going to be right. Or
yeah, I
wrong.
understand, yeah.
You know, you know what I'm trying to get across?
Yeah. You won't always be right, but I understand what you mean.
Yeah. You get a view, like, even if we get a customer into the store and we know that she's going to buy, and we know what we can say to her. Like, sometimes you can say the wrong thing to a customer and they take offence, like, you lie in the bed with me, missus, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But you know the people you can say it to.
Of course, yeah.
Now, I've made one or two mistakes, but...
No, you know, and it's about having the crack as well. Like,
yeah,
you know?
and I think you can read, people in business can read people.
Yeah.
Well, you have to.
Yeah, of course.
You have to. I would not like now to be working in the bank. I would not like to be what I call a suit.
Yeah.
And even the
Me
suits
either.
now,
Look at me, I'm in shorts
even
and a
the
t-shirt.
suits now are not wearing ties.
Yeah.
You know, where years ago they would wear the tie.
Yeah.
But the people I call suits would be say people in banks or
Yeah.
insurance companies. They're not streetwise. They're not like me or you, where we've had to fight our corner.
Yeah.
They are protected people.
Yeah.
And I would not like to be in that situation. I like the challenge of the unknown,
Yeah.
what's around the corner.
Of course.
I love that.
And can I ask you before you go, Mick, Matress Mick, I know now why you had to explain and where that all came from.
Yeah.
And you wanted to kind of, it was obviously for financial reasons, you didn't want to have to pay somebody, or you didn't at the time have
Yeah.
the finances, but you wanted it to be personal as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously my gym is Ger Conroy Fitness and I have my reasons for that.
Yeah.
But why did you want your name to be on it? Because people do ask me, why did you choose Ger Conroy Fitness? And I remember when I first decided on it, I wasn't going to call it Ger Conroy Fitness because I just didn't want my name to be over it. But I remember saying it's a gym and gyms are intimidating, and I want to have a certain type of gym that everybody feels welcome, and every member of staff that always works for Ger Conroy Fitness, even if they weren't the right person, that will always come back on me, because it's not just called Dublin Fitness or wherever, you know.
Yeah.
And I will always, because my name is on it, I'll always care about it.
Yeah.
And I'll always make sure everything is done the way I feel it should be done for the members, not for just the staff, but for the members. And that's why I basically put my name over it, because I wanted to always be accountable for everything that went wrong, because I'd always take the blame for it.
Yeah.
Because even if I don't do something and something happens within the company, at the end of the day I need to obviously oversee it, but I want to make sure that we have the right people. Even the way the layout is, it suits the members. It's not about what I want. Like, some of the machines in here wouldn't be my favourite machines, but we have them because the members want them.
Right.
Because it's not about me, it's about them. But that's why I put my name over it, because I wanted to be able to be responsible for anything that went wrong. Do you know what I mean?
It's not my name, you see. Matress Mick I'm Michael Flynn.
Yeah.
So
But you're the image, you're the face of it, I should say.
Yes, I am the face of it.
Is that part of that? You wanted to take responsibility for everything, and you wanted people to see that it was a personal touch from you, because like that's what I wanted myself.
Two things. I wanted to sell mattresses.
Yeah.
So I needed, I had a business when we were at the drapery store in Pier Street. It was called Flynn's of Pier Street. Then I had the Northside Furniture. So I could not get out there myself, because Northside Furniture is and it was known as Northside Furniture.
Yeah.
So when the opportunity came due to the liquidation, I wanted to sell mattresses. So to me that was important, that you had the word mattress in your name.
Of course.
And Mick, it just rhymed.
Just went well.
It just rhymed. So it was Matress Mick is Michael Flynn, or Michael Flynn is Matress Mick.
Yeah.
And Michael Flynn's personality can be put out there through the Matress Mick identity, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
If I was known as, if the shops were known as Michael Flynn Beds, it wouldn't work. It's just a quirkiness.
To have your image on the posters, do you feel that it is more personal than for the
Absolutely,
customers?
yeah. I'm not hiding from anything. I'm putting my face out there.
Exactly, yeah.
And people come up and say, "Oh, hello, Mattress. I don't care what I call you. You call me Mattress. Call me what you like. Call in and make it buy a bed." But no, I see where you're coming from. But I think it's important, as you said there. I wanted to be associated with what I was selling.
Yeah.
I could have called it. Could have been Mattress Paddy. That's not my name.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
We have one guy we call him Bunk Bed Paddy.
I know, that's great.
I hope that answers that question. But
when I seen the images as well, I was wondering, was it important to you that you wear the face of it, not for the fame as such, but more for just to kind of be responsible for everything?
be responsible, and it hadn't been done before in Ireland, where somebody had put themselves out like I did, and that has helped. Now there are some imitators out there at the moment trying to be imitators, but they'll never catch up with me. I'm not going to let them, because I'm totally immersed in what I do and in trying to keep my brand number one.
And that's it, and that's what I was talking about earlier. You were given the chance, but you're a grafter. You had failures, you came back. You had more failures, you came back. You just don't stop, Mick.
No.
You're still thinking of the future, and you're even talking about after you retire, you're still going to be involved in some way.
Yeah.
Your work ethic is unbelievable, and I have to congratulate you on that, because that's fantastic.
Thank you, Ger. Thank you very much.
Mick, thank you very much for coming in today. I really do appreciate it. I really enjoyed the chat. I knew obviously a lot of your story, but I'm delighted, and I hope many people hear this as well now. And I'm delighted. Thank you very much for coming in.
Grand, thank you. And one thing I'd just like to finish up myself. It's a long story. There were bits I couldn't include, or I'd like to expand it. But I think and I hope that the whole Matress Mick or Michael Flynn thing was understood.
Yeah, no, it gives a great picture, and I'm sure everybody will be more tuned in with exactly where your journey was, where it is now, and now we're talking about the future as well.
And if you need a new mattress, anybody, you know where to go.
Exactly. Again, just before you go, give me all the locations. Matress Mick.
Well, Coolock, Pier Street, Nace Road, Drogheda, Waterford, Carlow, Rossgray, and coming soon, Athlone, Dundalk, and hopefully London, and God knows what else. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Matress Mick.
Cheers.
Okay guys, there we have it. That was Michael Flynn, aka Matress Mick. I really enjoyed that conversation. He's such a genuine guy, a gentleman, very down to earth. I'm so blown away by his work ethic and the guerrilla marketing, as he says. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember, if you are enjoying these podcasts, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on iTunes, Spotify, and all the audio platforms. Share it on social media and tell your friends and family. Have a good day, everybody. Take care.
This is the Ger Conroy Fitness Podcast. For more, see gerconroy.ie.